Welcome to the Cerebral Edge with strength and conditioning specialist Coach Chris. Join us for the next 30 minutes as Coach Chris shares ways to improve your health in all areas of your life. Along with his special guests, he strives to give you that cerebral edge to help make you 1% better every day. Now, here's Coach Chris.
Well, hello, Colorado Springs. It is Coach Chris with the Cerebral Edge Show. Just want to take a half hour here and see if I can't make you guys all 1% better. And today, I'm doing that with a little help with my friend, Joe Ruggiero. Welcome on, Joe.
Thanks, Chris. Always good to be on.
Absolutely. So what have you been up to lately?
Not much, just training and enjoying life, especially here in Colorado Springs as it's changing seasons and stuff, getting out there and, hitting those mountains before they're snow covered for sure.
Nice. So for you guys that don't know, Joe Ruggiero is the owner of a different kind of strong, which I really find that interesting, right? Because it really makes your ears poke up when you think of a different type of strong.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody, when they think of being strong, they think of just lifting a bunch of weights.
Yeah, just the physical aspect of being strong versus like finding what I like to do is help find your style of strong, whatever that is. Mm-hmm. It could be the mental state you're in. It's way more than just the physical being.
Right, because there's some people out there that, like myself, and you obviously, that like the gym.
Yeah. Even
though you're really skinny, right? But there's also people that love, going hiking in mountains, and they like, doing things outside, and they like, all kinds of different ways to be physically active versus just being in the gym, and you're their guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And finding what your style of doing that is really important. Mm-hmm. So whether, like you just said, whether it's hiking, whether it's running, whether it's lifting weights, whether it's a combo of all of it, finding what works best for you, helping you become the strongest mm-hmm. you can be in your life.
Right. So when you're sitting down with somebody and they're trying to find their own style of strong, how do you do that?
Well, usually I start off by just kind of starting a little bit of a dialogue with them just to find out kind of what their day-to-day is like, where the points that really stick out to me are. Like, say, whether they enjoyed something, whether something came easy to them, and then we start pushing into those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gets lost on a lot of personal trainers out there where they're like, I have to have you here 3 times a week, mm-hmm. right? And I have to have you here for this long, an hour every time, right? And then people can really stress out about that and go, well, I got a job and I've got this to do and I've got that to do. I can't make, the certain gym times work. And that's where you have those conversations. You sit down and you go, well, what time do you have?
Yeah. I mean, there's always a little bit of time. My thing is as we all know, we all do it. We say that we don't have enough time, but we find time for those things that really matter to us, mm-hmm. right? So what I like to do is find what it is that is going to make you do it, and also to make it attainable for you. So it's mm-hmm. not stressing you out, even if it's 5-10 minutes a day of some type of movement that's benefiting you towards your goal, towards being healthier, whatever it is, we want to push into it. Mm-hmm. 5 minutes is better than no minutes.
Mm-hmm. What is the most creative way you've had to make up a workout for somebody or whatever they want to do?
I mean, that's a great question. I've done a lot of different things, but one of the things that I have to say that I didn't think there was going to be as big results from is mm-hmm. having somebody do little increments throughout their day. Mm-hmm. Because just coming to the gym or just doing a workout at their house or whatever it was not ideal for them. It just did not fit in their schedule. So what we ended up doing was finding that little 3 to 5 minute increments throughout the day, mm-hmm. about 20 times throughout the day. So they ended up actually doing a longer workout than most people. Mm-hmm. By the time the 24 hours was up, but that helped them push through without feeling stressed about it, as if they couldn't get it in, as if they were getting enough in because they were active. I mean, you're pretty active throughout the day as if every hour you're getting 3 to 5 minutes in, mm-hmm. So piecing that together for people is like that is really beneficial just in the sense of if they've never moved before. Mm-hmm. If this is a person that's coming right off the couch and just wants to start feeling better about themselves, 3 to 5 minutes, man, make a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the first time we're actually recording live, right?
Yeah.
With video, which is awesome.
It is.
So it's going to reach a lot more people. So I want you to kind of tell people how you got involved with that. What made you think of a different kind of strong? What made you think differently than everybody else?
Yeah, well, everybody has one thought process when it comes to being strong. Like we were just saying, muscles, being this big guy at the gym. But, there's many different types of strength, whether it's a strength that you're overcoming something, an illness, overcoming an injury, overcoming a mental state, divorce. I want to say, for the record, mental strength is some of the hardest to obtain, but it's one of the most impactful ones that you will ever work on.
Were you just coming up to to get back, were you coming to major roadblocks with clients where you're like, man, what's going on? Why can't I get through to this person? And did you have the same thing that kept happening where you're like, I need to think differently and outside the box?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely hearing it really started for me very young. Because I had a lot of that stuff for myself working through, and I noticed that I kept trying different ways that worked well for me, and then hearing everybody else's struggle, even being in my early, teenage years, hearing everybody else's struggle on the football team, hearing struggle with the teachers, with my family and stuff, with fitness, is they were looking at it in such a big, broad spectrum, and looking at it as, okay, I got to be like this person, or this is the only way I can do these things. I was like, that can't be. There's got to be many different avenues, many different ways that we can go about this to make it fit for each one of us. So I started doing that myself. And then, like I said, listening to all these people, I just really want to be able to help anybody find their style of strong, find their healthier lifestyle that fit for them and that they can maintain for a lifetime.
Yeah, so they just started out with you listening and going, wow, there's lots of different problems that people have. Yeah. Lots of different lifestyles, lots of different blocks people have versus, things like going, well, the gym's the only way I can get strong, so I might as well not even,
Like people would veer away from health because it seemed hard because everybody is, I'll say it right now, health is very much a cookie cutter approach in so many aspects. So that doesn't work for everybody at all. There's nobody out there that fits a cookie cutter. No. So when you get out there, you get real stressed, you get discouraged and stuff, and then it's just going to push you away from doing it. So I wanted to make health be available to anybody and for anybody.
Right. And that's the thing that people don't understand is when you're breaking it up in those 5-10 minute increments throughout the day, you could even do it in 2 minutes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can make a 5-minute workout miserable.
Oh man.
Right?
Man.
And the people that are like, oh, you can't get nothing done in 5 minutes. I'm like, have you ever done the 30-10-30? Yeah. Like we talked about before, right? Yeah. And the 30-10-30 is just basically take a push-up, for example, right? You take a push-up, you go down for 30 seconds. By the time 30 seconds is over, you're pretty shaken, right? Yeah, yeah. Then you do 10 more reps after that. Then you come back up, and then you do another 30-second eccentric, right?
It's tearing you up.
Tell me your chest and your triceps and your shoulders aren't screaming after something like that. Yeah. Right? And tell me you didn't get all you pretty much needed for your chest, shoulders, and tricep for that day.
Yep. Yep. But what you just said there was really important, I feel, where you could do it in any duration of time, even 2 minutes. But what the problem is I feel there's too much comparison. Somebody like me or you probably not going to get as much out of 2 minutes as somebody that doesn't do much at all. You know what I mean? Somebody that's coming off the couch, starting off, or even somebody that, they did a lot of working out. They played a lot of sports in high school, but now it's been 15 years since they worked out actually in the gym at all or done anything. So that 2 to 5 minutes is going to be way more impactful for them than it is us. But what happens is those people end up talking to somebody that doesn't take into consideration where they are and tell them what they do, and then it just seems impossible.
Yeah. I would almost look at it the other way. Is that we could take that 2 to 5 minutes and we could make it more intense that they could.
Oh, yeah.
Because we could recruit more motor units and more stress than what they could, because we have actually more of a mind. And people laugh every time, but it's really a mind muscle connection. Like
100%.
We can flex our muscles a lot stronger and a lot harder. So we could almost, I would argue, get a little bit more out of it, wouldn't you say?
I mean, I definitely agree with that, but it's really hard for I would say the mass people to understand that.
Yeah.
You know, like me and you understand that because we push into this all the time, and we know that 2 minutes of just even a plank hold in a certain way is going to kill us. You know what I mean? Because like you said, we can flex a lot more. We can apply more to it. But in the normal talk that I hear is somebody that works out at the gym regularly 3 days a week. They feel real good. They talk to their friend that hasn't worked out in 10 years. You know, he's feeling discouraged because he's not going to be able to get 3 days in a week. You know, but he could, if the guy could, you know, hand off, say, hey, if you just did 2 minutes every couple of hours or something, 2 minutes a day even, you'll benefit from that. You know, I wish there was more of that message out there. But people get so locked into these cookie cutter ways of thinking that they won't look outside the box to help somebody else see what might fit for them.
Yeah. And with the beginner, I mean, it's kind of talking about the minimal effective dose.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Going 2 minutes is probably all you need.
That means serious.
Right?
Yeah.
For the week for some people.
Yeah.
Right. And then just add. Right.
Yeah.
Because after you add, you really can't take away.
No, you got to keep growing.
Right. You have to keep growing.
The slow implemented changes that are sustainable. So something you can, like you said, if we start with 2 minutes and we go to 3, we can lock 3 in probably pretty good, that one extra minute. But if you're doing 2 minutes, you jump to 15, it's going to be real hard to lock that 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
That 1 minute would have been a lot easier to lock in. You want to work your way up nice and slow so that way you're not getting discouraged in any way. You don't want to work in a negative factor mentally.
Yeah. I mean, one of the ways that I discuss with my clients is it's like a prescription.
Yeah.
Right. Say you're used to taking 200, milligrams of ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Right. Eventually you take that and all of a sudden it's like, that's nothing. Right.
Yeah.
And then you have to keep bumping it up. Right. So you always want to start with a minimal effective dose before you start getting yourself more and more, because exercise is a prescription just like anything else.
I love that way of looking at it. That's real nice, man. That's a nice way to deliver it for sure.
Right. So finding out the right type of workout that makes sense for you, I think, is a key to what a lot of people are missing out on.
Yeah.
Right. Is that they're like, well, man, if I don't have 2 hours in the gym and this and that. And I always tell people, I'm like, look, you can either go to the gym or wherever you're at. You can either work out long or you can work out hard. There's no way you can do both at the same time.
Yes, 100%. And that is lost. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of opinions in this area, which end up skewing like what is factual and what isn't. But just saying it out loud like that, I feel like people should be able to take that like, oh, wow, if I work out really hard and go really long, how is that going to be possible, you know? But it's definitely lost within that. And I think it's so important finding what is going to fit for you. Like if you're a runner, that's great, but let's be the best kind of runner that you can be. So if you're a runner, you have to look into the depths of it. You can't just be a runner. You have to, okay, what's going to help me hold good posture when I run? What don't I work when I run? So like what I mean by finding what is going to be best for you is if you are a runner, then by all means, definitely get the running in, but you have to see the things you're missing. If you're a bodybuilder or if you're a weightlifter and that's what fits well for you, what are the things that you're going to be missing that might not be in the realm of bodybuilding or weightlifting? If you're a boxer, what is it that you're missing in that? And all these are different ways of working out, different styles, different mentalities and stuff. But what I feel like what happens to us is we get locked in this one track versus thinking of how to maximize this track. How can I get everything out of it? The reason why I say that is because I work with so many runners that don't have the backside applied at all. They're very quad calf dominant. They don't have any glutes, no hamstrings, no back strength because they don't do any upper body or anything. Imagine if you had that.
That's an awesome way to look at it. What's missing? We have some great info today on the Cerebral Edge. I'm Coach Chris. My guest today is Joe Ruggiero. We're going to take a second and pay some bills. We'll be right back. We are back with a Cerebral Edge, talking to my friend Joe Ruggiero here, talking about a different kind of strong, helping people find their styles of strong. And before we were talking about some missing links that were happening with your training, what are some missing links in the mindset, Joe? We talked about physical, but what about that mindset?
Yeah, I mean that's going to be where it's all at. That mindset. Mindset's going to it's what leads you through everything. It's what holds you back. So one of the biggest things that I really want to push in on for mindset is giving yourself grace. Now, when I say that, it's not giving yourself so much grace, but giving yourself grace in the sense that it fits well for life. Like if you are somebody that's like, I need to get 5 workouts in a week. All right, 5 workouts is awesome, but 5 workouts probably doesn't need to be every single week to get the gains that you're looking for. If life comes in there and all of a sudden your car breaks down, don't get stressed out because you missed Thursday's workout, because you might even have time on the weekend. Who knows? Or maybe you needed a little extra time the rest that week. But give yourself a little grace. You shouldn't be going home stressed out about that workout you missed, because then now that defeats even more the purpose of you working out, because you're trying to better yourself, you're trying to become healthier. So therefore, if you're starting to create stress in you, for one, your recovery is not going to be as good. 2, you're going to have inflammation. And 3, you have this mindset where now you're just mad for no reason, really, besides creating it yourself. And then having grace within what your goals look like. So obtainable goals. So if you're, say, even working with a trainer, like I even have my clients call me out if it feels like something that's not going to be obtainable for them. I want them to feel confident in being able to
Do you do
achieve
that on
this goal.
purpose?
Sometimes. I want to see where they're at. I want to see if they could, their gauge, how it is on themselves.
So you're like, hey, we're going to lose 100 pounds in a week. And they're like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. I mean, I do push into it because I want them to know themselves. The more you understand how well you work, for one, the less stress you'll have in it, and the more apt you are to do it. So grace is going to be huge. You can't push past. You can't push into it too much. Grace isn't going to be the thing where I missed a whole week, so
Yeah, exactly.
That's my grace.
I think we have a massive problem in this country with people giving them too much grace all the time.
Yes.
Most of the time when you're looking at people giving themselves grace, it's those that are like really go-getters.
Yep.
Right? And they want to be there.
Yeah.
But we have this other mentality where it's like, oh, I just missed that. And, whatever. Or even sometimes in the gym, right? People are so easy to give themselves grace because they're like, well, that felt kind of hard, so I'm not going to do any more repetitions, right?
Yeah.
And then people will come to me a lot of times and basically say to me, they're like, I wouldn't push myself this hard. That's why I come here.
Yeah. I mean, exactly.
Because they will give themselves grapes during the workout.
Yep.
And it's too much, right?
Yeah.
But how do you know? How do you toe that line to know when you're giving yourself too much versus not enough?
So I would say it's how you feel at the end of the week would be a great way to measure that. So if you feel like you've succeeded, that you've pushed forward, that you have made a step up in any way that might be, that's when you're giving yourself and you're not stressed about it. That means you're giving yourself enough grace, but you're working hard enough to make things happen. If you can, at the end of the week, if you recap and you don't feel you did enough, you don't feel that you made that step up, even if that step up is a half an inch, we just got to keep moving forward, keep moving up in whatever it is that you're doing. If you don't have that, then there was too much grace. So like recap, what I really like to recommend for my clients is to journal usually on a Saturday, Sunday, if they could find a little bit of time, and just put down, okay, how do you feel about your week? What in this week do you feel successful about? What in this week was hard? And what in this week do you feel you should have pushed into further? And then we'll recap on that.
That's really what I was trying to get out of you a little bit too there, right? Is journaling,
Yes.
right? or tracking, right?
Yep.
Because there's a total difference between going out and getting a workout in and training.
Yes.
It's two completely different things.
Yep.
And the only way, in my mind, that you're really going to make progress is if you're training.
100%.
Right?
Hands down.
Because otherwise you're in there, you're on the Bosu ball with your friend, right? Just kind of bouncing up and down.
Yeah.
Talking about your mocha chocolate you're going to have afterwards.
What you got at Starbucks.
Because you guys worked really hard, right?
Yeah.
So you guys deserve a little ice cream. Because
it's so true. It's so true. Yeah.
You don't have that, okay, here I hit this rep or say if I'm running, I went this mile, or say if I'm hiking, I went this hard. Or it could be, logging how many days a week you got there and did something.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that journaling, right, and seeing your progress and looking at, because we're so visual, right?
Wicked. Yes.
So
all of us.
So if you sit there and you have it, maybe even on your calendar, right? You have a calendar on your wall. And you're like, I'm not going to have 2 X's touched this week because that means I missed a workout when I put next.
Great example. Yeah.
And you look at it and you're like, wow, I hit 3 this week, or I hit 5 this week, or I didn't have any 2 X's touching this week. That's progress, as long as you're measuring it somehow. Right.
And then if you have that measurement or some way of tracking that, it leads into what my next thing I wanted to push into is keeping it going. What keeps it going? So like you were just talking about, you're sitting there bouncing on the stability ball, talking about your Starbucks drink.
That's right.
Who is in your corner? Okay, that person that you're sitting on that stability ball just bounce with, are they just there to hang out with you? Mm-hmm. You guys just talking about your week and your weekend and your relationship or whatever, or are they like, hey, we've been doing this for 5 minutes, we stretched enough, we did whatever, let's go, man, let's hit it. That's the person you want in your corner. You have to. So not only in that journaling are you going to notice what's going on within yourself, but you're going to see what's impacting you from the outside. You need to have good people in your corner that are pushing you forward, that motivate you, whether they even are working out with you or not. You need to be able to dialogue with somebody. What I love to call it is the meeting of the minds. Like you need to have people that you meet up with just to talk, to fuel your mind to keep moving forward.
I mean, that's basically what the people we hang out with, right?
Yeah.
Is we want people that are going forward, right? Not looking backwards.
Yeah.
Right. Not the
people that challenge you.
Yeah, people that challenge you, right? That's why it's always good to have, even a good workout partner. But even more than that, what I found with training hundreds of people is that the home, right?
Yeah.
Who's cheering you on at home?
Yep.
Because if they're not, you're gonna fail.
Yes, you need to have that support all around. And if everything is not communicated and just talked about in a way where everybody at home, saying like your significant other, even the kids and stuff will understand what you're doing, because that's going to be a great example for them. You have to at least have it acknowledge that this is who you are, this is what you do. And have people support that whether they understand it or not. Because home doesn't have to be there like every time you went to the gym, but they have to be like, you go to the gym 3 days a week, no questions asked, and I support that because that's what you like to do and that's what's good for you. Yeah. It's even better if somebody's like, woo, what can I cook for you when we get home? Like, what are we eating? Like that's really good, but that doesn't have to be. You just have to have the support in the sense where it's not taking away from you. Yeah, absolutely. And if you can sit down with your significant other or whatever and be like, hey, plan it out for the week so that way you guys aren't surprised either, right? So that way it's not a shock on somebody else going, well, I didn't know you're going to go right now, and I got the kids, and I got all this stuff going on. Exactly. Take the stress out of it. Plus, especially with significant others, they should know how important it is to you. A lot of people that go to the gym, that's their release. That's where they can get all that aggression, that tension that they builds up throughout the day or throughout the week, whatever it is, out. So if like some reason life happens and that graceful situation ended up occurring in the beginning of the week, and by Wednesday or Thursday you guys are a little bickering and stuff, you guys should have enough communication where, say, significant other, whoever they may be, would be like, hey, I think you need to go to the gym. I think
my wife tells me that all the time.
You haven't been to the gym enough this week. Yeah, but that's the type of, like, not that your wife would have to go to the gym, but she should know how important it is for you.
it's almost like you need a Snickers.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, something like that.
You're not
hungry.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
If you haven't made it to the gym, you're not yourself.
Gym hungry right now. Yeah.
You need to go do something.
Yeah.
You need to go, I don't know what it is. And it's like,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I agree. I didn't make it, this week. So yeah, probably do.
Exactly. And that leads me right into like, do you have a plan in place for the hard times, for the vacation times and stuff? Because having that communication with your significant other or somebody that lives with you or whatever partnership it is that you have is going to be even more important when it comes to the hard times. Say like there's a passing in your life or a vacation comes up and you're going to be gone and out of your routine for a week, 2 weeks. Like, what are your plans? What are your actions in place for that? Like, what can you do or what have you talked about that you are going to do during those times? Because even though you're on vacation having a great time, still those workouts are very important for keeping you the person that you are. For one, what we're doing is we're building a lifestyle. So if all of a sudden you jump out of your lifestyle on vacation, you're going to have an upset in your normalcy.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it, right, is it's a different kind of strong, so it fits you.
Yeah.
So I would argue, right, that the beginner needs that more than the advanced person.
Yes.
Right? Because the advanced person probably could use the 2 weeks most of the time.
Most of the time.
And
it's probably hard for them to take the 2 weeks.
It's probably
off,
really
honestly.
hard for them to do it.
Yes.
So I think right here is what we're talking about is the beginning stages of getting into this.
Yeah.
And it's very true because you can forget the feeling after the gym in the beginning stages pretty easily.
Yeah.
Right. But if you keep it kind of going, maybe just a couple times, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you're gone for say a week on vacay, then try to have in there, okay, do a little research. Does the place have a gym? Or, hey, I'm going to go to the beach. So I'm going to go run down the beach a half mile and run back, or I'm going to walk back or stairs. Whatever it might be, have it in your mind that you have a plan to at least attack some type of action twice that week. It's going to, for one, it's a habit building for them.
Yes.
Because you really want that. And that's one thing why we were just saying somebody that's already really into it, it's going to be harder for them to just say, oh, I'm not going to work out for 2 weeks because I'm on vacation. Even a week. It's really difficult because that habit is there and they understand how impactful it is to be able to do those workouts and how important it is. So in the beginning, I would agree 100%. But I want to say, again, even those people that have that full workout regimen and ready to go and it's hard to take that time off, you should still have it in place so that your family that is on full vacay and they can do full vacay understand that you still need to do your thing. Yeah,
absolutely. How do people get a hold of you, Joe? How do they get a hold of this man? Because Colorado Springs, you guys need this man.
You can hit me up anytime. Give me a call, 802-384-9992 or 719-DKstrong@gmail.com.
That's awesome. He's going to give you all the keys to finding your style, helping you give yourself just the right amount of grace, and help you keep it going. Those are the three big things that we covered today. And this has been the Cerebral Edge. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
I hope what you guys heard is going to make you guys at least 1% better, right? Until next time, how do we say it? Stay strong.
This has been the Cerebral Edge on KPPF. Have a question for Coach Chris? Email him at cerebraledge1@gmail.com. That's Cerebral Edge, the number 1 @gmail.com. Join us next Saturday at 1 p.m. and Sunday at 10:30 a.m. for another episode of the Cerebral Edge with Coach Chris on Power Talk 1040 KPPF.